how are you?
Made it.
Good, good.
Listen, I got some information on the Kent Theater, Kent.
Oh yeah?
Where you could also.
Hey there, how are you?
Oh, this is my assistant. He's a football player.
Enjoy the film, thanks.
So Al, you seem to be getting a good turnout.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Hey, thanks so much.
Exciting.
Is Jerry here? Jerry?
Jerry is in here.
Sorry. My mother always told me I should talk soft. Thank you, Mom. And he goes to bed, and he's clutching the baseball. And all I could think of was a famous line from Jim Bouton, who said, all those years you were gripping a baseball when really it was the other way around. And I thought of that moment. Talked about the genesis of this project.
Well, it's a project I've been working on for a very long time, and I'd like to say, first of all, also thank you to the Manhattan Festival for inviting us here. This is our first festival that we've been in. Losing both my brother and sister to suicide was obviously very difficult for me. And many years ago, I just felt like I should write a story about it. So this is what I did. It's been very difficult to get to this point, but I want to thank all the people that are here tonight, but all the people that, as you see in the credits, that helped out to be a part of this film. I mean, every single person. It's not easy to do. I'd like if we have a couple of minutes for some of the actors to come up. Whoever would like to come up, maybe. Natasha, Nara. Maybe some questions for them if we have any questions in the audience. Aiden, young David.
Yes.
Alex Walton, who plays the older David, couldn't be here tonight. He's doing a show in Philadelphia. Geraldine, who plays the mom. Nara. Rabia, the producer. Jolene, producer, if you'd like to come up. Come on up. All these people made it happen. I mean, and a lot more. Does anyone have any questions?
Let me ask a question for the actors, and whoever wants to answer this, welcome to. You're playing characters who are based very closely on real people, and one of your fellow cast members and your co-director is someone who grew up with these people and whose story is part of their story. Does that make it harder to do this incredibly emotionally intense material, or did he make it easy? Did Albert make your lives difficult? This is intense stuff. This must have been very difficult. Did you turn to him and say, how do I, whatever?
Maybe Aiden would like to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. In a lot of ways where I wouldn't really know what to do with the character or how the character would react to a certain situation, I would turn to Albert and he would give me like how he would do it or how David would do it.
Excuse me, Brian, can you come up here? I'm co-director, vice director, please. Thank you.
He was one of the coaches, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Brian was in a lot of...
Oh my goodness. Awesome role.
I just wanted to say that, as an actor, really all you can do is sometimes deal with what's on the page. And I think the fact that Albert wrote this so honestly and truthfully, that and obviously when he cast us, he saw something that was resonant for him. That to me, it's always difficult. It's always difficult to go to those very painful places, but the material was there, and the material was truthful and honest, and and moving, and you just surrender to that. So Albert actually made our lives as actors, I think, very easy.
Some people have asked what's it like to have two directors on the film. So maybe as actors, or maybe Brian, you'd like to say something about directing.
It's easy for me. I don't know about that.
I know Brian from years ago, and when I decided to play my dad, I knew that I was going to need help with that. So Brian and I had worked together in acting class and did scenes together, and I know he trained actors and he has directed, so it really worked out well. Maybe Mara, you could say a little bit about what it was like for you?
Which question? Having two directors?
Yeah, having two directors
Sure.
and playing the part of Vivian.
Sure. Well, to go back to the previous question, it was a lot of pressure to try to bring your story to life. So I felt the pressure, but once we got to shooting, you were so open and supportive that it was easy. Like the words were there, and you supported us and made us feel like you were right. Like I think at the casting, you saw something in us, and you just trusted us and let us do our thing. And like Geraldine said, it made our lives as actors easier. This heavy material, I felt supported to do whatever was going to come, and that's really great. And having two directors, I think you're right. When you decided to direct it and be in it, it was very smart to bring Brian, because I remember some of the scenes you were getting emotional because, I mean, his story is yours, and I think it was good to have Brian there to kind of be another set of eyes when, you know, if you get wrapped up in the emotion, he was always there to also see the technical stuff that needed to be seen as well. So I think it was a blessing to have two directors on something like this. Yeah.
Any questions from the audience?
I have a question. Albert, how was it for you playing your own personal father, talking to your own personal self?
That's great.
It actually, I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult, quite frankly. I think we're all, in us, part of us is, we all have the personalities in some way come out of the people who brought us up. So there's obviously something in me that's similar to my father. And I thought a lot about it, but I felt like, hey, I can do this. The one scene that really was tough for me was the scene where he tells his son, I'm going to disown you.
Oh, yes.
Because that actually happened, and I just couldn't think of how it must have felt for him to be in that position to say, I'm going to disown you if you do whatever you're going to do. And I know that happens all around the world, and it's tough. It really is tough. So that scene was a real difficult scene for me, but I was really glad I did play him. I felt like there was the real tender side to my dad, and I hope that showed.
Albert, could you talk about your relationship with your father that after the passings of your siblings? How did the relationship develop? And
yeah, unfortunately what happened right after my sister committed suicide, he had heart failure and kidney failure within 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
And the doctor said he was he was not going to last the night after 2 weeks in the hospital there. And I was about to get married at the time, and I was sitting in the hospital. There was a rabbi who was there sitting next to me. He was in Florida, and he said, why don't you get married tomorrow, right here in the hospital? So Pamela, who was sitting right there, I called her up and I said, come. We're in Florida, she was in New York. I said, can you come tomorrow and we'll get married here in the hospital? And we did. And if ever I thought there was a miracle, it was then, because he lived another 2.5 years after that. and we had a nice relationship, and the relationship between him and Pamela was beautiful, so it really worked out. You know, there was peace. Yeah.
It seems like this was an incredibly profound cleansing experience for you. And I'm wondering, for such a lengthy engagement of cleansing, were you like exhausted?
This was, yeah, and I still am. I mean, it was very cathartic and very releasing. It was a lot of work, and it's, a lot of work getting it out there right now. I want to say, I mentioned Rabia, who's the producer, one of the producers, who really, we did this all kind of last minute, even though I was working on it for years, and she came in, I don't know, how many weeks before we started?
Just shy of 4 weeks.
4 weeks, and I said, "Do you really think you can get this going?" You want to talk a little bit about it?
I mean, on the production side of things, I think we were really blessed to have people on board who really just believed in the project. And the question, I think it was one of the first questions that was asked about the cast playing such heavy roles. And again, a film about suicide is, it's going to bring out a lot of emotions. We, in fact, had a crew without me knowing this. I think I easily, by the end of this shoot, had about 10 people telling me that they had experienced losing somebody to suicide. And it just made me think that I think with the right project and the right people, we were able to make this film that should have been done with, $2 million out there for a fraction of the budget in a very short amount of time. And it's because our casting crew went above and beyond, so I just want to thank them.
Yeah.
Al.
Does anyone have production side?
No.
Any questions?
Yeah. I just wanted to know whatever became of your scholarship to WV, because I played for the Bonnies in 1969, graduated from Erasmus Hall in '71, went to Howard University, and I majored in electrical engineering. So I wanted to know what happened to you after WV, because I obviously I never made it to the majors.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
oh, okay. We leave it at that. Okay.
Well, I want to say first of all, my coach when I was 17 years old is Jerry Caskey, who's
Yes.
sitting right in the audience.
Yes,
right
Jerry. He was my coach too.
He still runs the Bonnie.
That's right.
And my teammate Scotty Nathanson, where is he? Well, from when I was 17 is here today. So
Yes,
it's
Scotty.
really like full circle. I didn't get a scholarship.
Oh my! I won't tell anyone. I won't tell anyone.
When I wrote the scene, I was so happy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Poetic justice. Poetic justice.
What's that?
Poetic justice. That's what that is.
Yeah. I mean, I did play college baseball. Though.
We have time
Yeah.
for one more question.
Okay. There's one.
I wanted to say, I don't know if to give the credit to you or your directors or the actors. Being your cousin, I knew all these characters. I knew Joni. I know Auntie Stella. Even you, as Uncle Joe. I just can't get over how perfect the personality is. That it's like, I don't know how, I mean, it had to be you because you made them be who they are. Their personality is exactly who they were. It's unbelievable.
It really is.
We'll get credit for it.
Oh, thank you, Ronnie. Ronnie's my first cousin. And we shot the film in Ronnie's mom's house, in her house. So that was pretty amazing. Well, I guess that's it. Yes, there's some shorts that are going to play now. So thanks again for coming. Some of us are going to go to, let's go Babiano, is that the name? Babiano is on University and 13th. Right around the corner. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. We are really working to get this film out there for the sake of everyone who's dealing with the mental health and to help reduce the stigma that goes with people who are having problems and dealing with depression and bipolar issues. So my goal for this is for conversations to come up and have some dialogue and bring some awareness. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.